This video is the second phase of the master copy. I'm quite happy with the base of the painting. I can now continue to the details and start blending the light colors. I have now reduced the size of the brush, but I am still painting, not drawing. I want to make softer blends, so I'll press the Use Pressure for Opacity button. Now I can make brush strokes that fade. Next I will create a brush that helps me to paint the hair. I create a new file and paint black dots next to each other. I change the dots to be a bit higher with free transform. Now I change this painting to become a brush. Edit, Define Brush Presets. I click OK, and I have a brush looking like this. I release the Pressure for Size button. Now I can paint several strokes in one brush stroke. Now I make the pressure change the opacity of the paints. Now I can create fading lines. I use this brush for painting the hair. When needed, I can rotate the brush from the round symbol on the right-click menu. I see that there's too many lines created with the brush. Remove the extras and create a new brush. This suits the painting better. I once again paint the darker colors on the bottom and then the lights on top, softening the lines with a normal brush. I create another brush with longer distances between the dots. I work on the hair with these brushes. This gives a basic line structure, but I need to work on top of it for it not to look goofy. I continue on painting with a normal brush. Sometimes I use the pressure for opacity, and sometimes I don't. I have a logic that when I actually paint, I don't use it, and when I want to blend, I use it. I start adding the darkest colors on the eyes, mouth and nostril. I use the custom hairbrush also on the fringe of the scarf. I blend the background to be a bit more soft. This is easier with the pressure on opacity on. I continue on working on the hair, now with the normal brush. The eyes are the most important part of a portrait. Every now and then, I make the guidelines invisible. It's easier to work this way with the eye. I also add some details to the other areas. Ears are quite hard to paint. In this painting, you can see that the light is coming through the ear. So the ear darkens and lightens when going to the center. If you paint with the pressure on opacity, you normally need to raise your opacity. The eyes need a lot of passes to get them right. If your painting looks goofy, you can still take measurements from the screen. In my case, the eye is a bit too much to the left. I don't fix it for this demo. The colors of my painting don't match the reference. Most noticeable is the cooler colors on the chin. I make a thin glaze of violet blue on those areas. It makes the area much colder. I also work on the shines on the armor. They are important details on the painting. I didn't paint the base on this area precisely, so I need to move the area around. The cast shadow of the scarf is a good indicator of the direction of the light source. I haven't used the full dynamic range on the painting. This means that I haven't painted black on all of the black areas. You can leave the painting like this, but I'll darken the shadows a bit with a black glaze. The time starts to be up for this painting. I make small fixes here and there. In the hair, I have done multiple same-sized areas. The bounces of the hair are equal sized in my painting. This repetition is one of the most common and most human painting errors. I would have not ended up with this if I had painted the base of the hair more precise. When I only used my gut feeling, I failed. I am now quite happy with the painting. In the exercise, it's important that you focus on some of the areas. You get an ugly painting if you have too much focus on the shadowed area. In most of the references, they are painted quite lightly. There shouldn't be a lot of textures on them. The hardest things to copy are the laid-back brush strokes.